you set out for Ithaca, hope that your journey is a long one, full of adventure, full of discovery. Lystragonians and Cyclops, angry Poseidon, do not be afraid of them. You'll never find things like that on your way, as long as you keep your thoughts raised high, as long as a rare sensation touches your spirit and your body. Lystragonians and Cyclops, wild Poseidon, you won't encounter them unless you bring them along inside your soul, unless your soul sets them up in front of you. Hope that your journey is a long one. May there be many summer mornings when with what pleasure, what joy, you come into harbors seen for the first time. May you stop at Phoenician trading stations to buy fine things, mother of pearl, and coral, amber, and ebony, sensual perfume of every kind. As many sensual perfumes as you can. And may you visit many Egyptian cities to learn and learn again from those who know. Keep Ithaca always in your mind. Arriving there is what you're destined for. But do not hurry the journey at all. Better if it lasts for years, so that you are old by the time you reach the island, wealthy with all you have gained on the way, not expecting Ithaca to make you rich. Ithaca gave you the marvelous journey. Without her, you would not have set out. She has nothing left to give you now. And if you find her poor, Ithaca won't have fooled you. Wise as you will have become, so full of experience, you will have understood by then what these Ithacas mean.
Ithάκη is the fifth largest inhabitant island in the Ionian Sea. It is located northeast of Kefalonia and south of the island of Lefkada. The island is 27 kilometers from end to end and 6.5 kilometers at its widest point. It has an area of 92.7 square kilometers. Ithάκη is mostly mountainous. The highest mountain of the northern part of Ithάκη is Anogi, the Homeric mountain Neritos, 629 meters high. Ithάκη is one of the 4 districts under the jurisdiction of Kefalonia. According to the last census, 1991, its population is 3,082. The origin of the name Ithάκη is believed to derive from Ithakos, son of Pterelaos. Some claim that Ithakos was son of Poseidon and Amphimili. Ithakos came to the island with his brothers Neritos and Polyktor. Other interpretations as to the origin of the name of the island come from the Greek word ithi, cheerful, and the Phoenician word utica, colony. Towards the end of the 19th century, Ithaca was very prosperous. But since the start of the 20th century, the population has been steadily decreasing. During the first decades of this century, houses and schools were built, and roads were constructed. One of the first power stations in Greece was installed in Athens in 1923. Ithaca suffered severely during the German-Italian occupation in the Second World War, and the earthquake of 1953 was a strong blow. It destroyed the majority of the buildings, but the Greek government and all the Ithakician emigrants gave invaluable assistance to the local people. Reconstruction started shortly after the catastrophe. Although most of Ithaca's buildings are modern and have been built recently, the architecture remains traditional. According to Greek mythology, the ancient people of Telavoes ruled Ithaca and Kephallonia until Archisios, son of Kephalos and Arctos, conquered the islands and became king. Ithaca was the capital of the kingdom. Laertis, son of Archisios and Chalcomedusa, reigned after Archisios' death. Laertis was married to Anticlea, daughter of Autolycus, and they had a son named Odysseus. Odysseus was the most powerful and famous of all the kings of the state. Telemachus was the son of Odysseus and Penelope. The most reliable information about ancient Ithaca derives from Homer's epic poem, the Odyssey. Homer appears to have drawn on local knowledge of the island. According to Herodotus, Homer visited the island and Mentor received him as a guest. Ithaca rose to be a substantial and prosperous town during the Mycenaean period. Many objects from this period were excavated in many parts of Ithaca. The epic poems of Homer, the Iliad and the Odyssey, are related to this great period. Vathi, a town of 1,700 people, has been the capital of Ithaca since 1500. The entrance of Vathi's port, the Homeric Phorkys port, is 300 meters wide and 926 meters long. Lazareto, or Sotiras' Isle, lies at the southwestern part of the port. During the 19th century, those entering Ithaca were put in quarantine to prevent the spread of diseases. Later, the building on Lazareto served as a prison. On the top of Lutza Hill, near the entrance of the port, lies a fort built by the French in 1807. 2 cannons are the only arms which can still be observed there. The Cave of the Nymphs also lies a few kilometers north of Vathi. According to Homer, when Odysseus returned to Ithaca, he used the cave to hide the gifts offered to him by the Phaeacians. There are remains of an ancient town, 8th century BC, and ancient town walls, 7th century BC, extending from the summit down the slope of Aitos mountain, 4 kilometers west of Vathi. Kyoni, the most picturesque village in Ithaca, is set around a small bay. The port of Kyoni is safe and secure. There are many interesting buildings in the village that have survived the earthquakes, and a law prohibits construction or repairs in any other style and design of architecture. Kyoni, founded in the 16th century, has 226 inhabitants. The village is 25 kilometers from Vathi and 4 kilometers from Frikes. At the entrance of the port, the ruins of 3 windmills stand. There are some marvelous icons in Evangelistria and Agios Ioannis churches. The ruins of ancient walls lie at the nearby site of Rouga. Frikes is a small seashore village situated at the northeastern part of Ithaca. According to a few archaeologists, Frikes harbor is identified with the Homeric harbor of Erythron. The village was founded during the 16th century by people who came from the surrounding mountainous areas. On the 13th of September 1944, during the German occupation, local guerrillas seized the enemy ship Antoinetta and captured its crew. Anoyi, lies at the edge of the plateau of Neritos mountain at an altitude of 570 meters. One of the oldest and most remarkable churches on Ithaca is the Virgin Mary Church in Anogi. The interesting frescoes were painted during the Byzantine years. The area around the village is full of enormous prehistoric monolithic rocks. The most imposing rock, the so-called Araklis, 8 meters high, lies a few hundred meters away from the school building. The ruins of the old village lie along the path to Kioni. The monastery of Kathara, a few kilometers away from Anogi, lies on the slopes of a pine-covered hill. The church of Panagia, Virgin Mary, was built in 1696. The monastery was built in 1703. Nowadays, there is only one monk to run this monastery.